Okay, we're starting Hilchos Rechilas.
Mm-hmm.
Hilchos Rechilas, Klal Aleph. We call it Yivor Yishus Sipur Rechilas. I feel Emes Gomor Uman Nikor Rechilas. Malahosh V'Mechat Shoyaloi Madiba Pleni Oidosi. Chosha Prate Yisur Ubo Yud Aleph Sifim. Okay, we're going to explain what the Yisur is, and even if it's 100% true, what point to Rechilas, and what do you do if someone asks you? What did that guy say about me? Because if you tell him, that's outright lechilus. That's so. Let's see. Aleph. That's number one. You're over on a loisase if you're mirago. We'll define what regilus is in a minute. Regilus and regila, miragel are synonyms. Shenemol iselech rochil ba'amecha va'oven godohu. It's a great affair of Gurim, hiring the Foshas Rabbis from Yisrael, and it's a cause for many people to get killed. Kach nismach, and therefore it's written together with Losamed El Damriyach. Say Lomad, Ma'era, Rechilosa Shadoigat Beni. Says Chaim, go and look and learn what was caused from the Rechilos of Doig HaDoimish and Herga Yadai. Say, Kol Noiv Yerakoyanim. He told Shaul that Noiv Yerakoyanim supported David HaMelech, and Shomer, that caused Shomer to kill out the whole city. This love, the time that I wrote, that's the explicit love. That's the love that's written explicitly for the Isur Rechilas. But even without that love, there are many of the love and essays that you transgress commonly, regularly, when you say Rechilas, Kimavor Lev, Psicha, Ayin Sham, as when we learned the Psicha. Many lavs and essays. Says the Chafetz Chaim here in the footnote. Says really a lot of what we're going to write here, a lot of what we're going to write here, we could have learned, and we've learned in Hilchos Lashon Hara because they're parallel, they're the same. Says the Chaim, still yet, we didn't rely on the fact that you learned Hilchos Lashon Hara and now you'll be able to apply it. And rather we explicitly explained it for a few reasons. As we wrote at the end of the Akdoma. And what did he write at the end of the Akdoma? He wrote, let's see if we can find it. End of the Akdoma. Here's the Akdoma.
No, here's the Hakdama.
It's before the Psicha.
Yeah.
So on page, well, if you had my sefer, it's page 10. But Aluach Yomi Shna Shana Pshuta Hey Tishrei. In the footnote, he wrote, there are many halachas of Hilchos Rechilas that I could learn from Hilchos Isur Lashon Hara. He said, but I said that it's necessary to repeat each din on its own, because of the tremendous stumbling block there is for the Isur Rechilas. In this way, if he rewrites it, it'll, I guess, strengthen the halacha, chet haLashon, Rachmana litzlan, ve'en nismach binyan zel ha'ma'ayin. Kashiyah tzarech le'etzid davar l'ma'isa. He says, when it comes to halacha l'ma'isa, so he says, I can't rely that the guy's going to say, well, I learned in Hilchos Lashon Hara this, and it should apply here. So it's also awesome. I don't want to do that. Yechapes He'll try to apply one halacha from another, if he'll even want to do that. So that's one reason he says I have to rewrite it explicitly, straightforward in Rechilas. So besides, he says because in almost every Indian there's something new that wasn't written in Hilchos Lashon Hara. Shalanucha lumay temidinei sur Lashon Hara. Chazal wrote similarly a rule about Torah called Parsha Nemra V'Nishnas, a Parsha that was repeated like Nishnas Ela B'Shvil Davish Spanish. It was repeated for something new that's in the next the Parsha that's written over. So same here. Okay, so let's go to us. Ezer Rechid, Siman Beis, Sif Beis. Sif Beis. Okay, so it's an Issa Deraisa, but what is it? Someone who carries something, words, from one person and brings it to the other. When he says, this is what Ruvain said about you. This is what Ruvain did to you. This is what I heard that he did to you. Or he's planning on doing it. Says even though that you're recounting, it's not gnus on the one who's saying it. Even according to what the Rachel is saying, he's not saying that the guy said something necessarily, let's see, bad. I mean, we have to see what that means. And if you would ask the guy, he wouldn't deny it. Either because he's right in what he did. Reuven did do that to Shimon because Reuven was correct. We was correct in saying that. Well, because when Reuven did it, he had a different intention. Now, we have to say that what you're saying over is going to upset Shimon. I mean, if you tell Shimon that Reuven said he's a great guy, you're not over on Rechilas, right? I mean, the Chavetz Chaim is a little unclear because he's saying, he wouldn't deny he said it because he's right in what he said, but it has to be something that's going to get Shimon upset or bother Shimon. Otherwise, Reuven said that you bought a car from him. Great, it's true. I bought a car from him. So you have to say that it's something that Reuven's not embarrassed for saying, but yet it's going to cause some type of enmity and some type of bad feeling. Otherwise, why can't they tell Shimon what Reuven said? Why would that be? And like he said, it's written together. Well, it's Samir Adam Reyecha. No, Shimon's going to be very happy to hear that Reuven is, thinks he's a great guy and he's honest. And so I'm assuming, we'll see, I guess, from the next halacha. Even if my intention when I said over the story, I didn't intend to get Shimon angry or upset at Reuven. And feeling gam lefi daite kedin also pointy shedibur olav or also hamaisa. I mean, if I feel that Reuven was correct in what he did, going to Shimon makiach Reuven. For example, Shimon is rebuking Reuven amasha dibur olav. Or also loy in plenty of plenty. Right? Shimon is rebuking Reuven for doing something to him or saying something. Reuven must not ask Moshe and Reuven is responding to that rebuke and saying, well, I was right. And I'll prove to you I was right. Shagam Yudah Amar Lovke. Because Yehuda also said that So afilu hochi imushar shaydei tikun sinner belev Shimon al Yehuda. So now Ruvain, in order to justify his actions, told Shimon something that Yehuda did, right? But if you estimate, you evaluate, that by saying that, it's going to cause now Reuven to be angry at Yehuda, the Rachel agree. So you see, it has to be something that's going to cause the guy to be upset or angry.
Mm-hmm.
That's be clear. Okay, let's learn some Shmiras haLashon. And we got up to Shar Hatvuna Perik of. All right, so he was saying yesterday, he was trying to give us a way to deal with our feelings of holding a grudge in the Kama with the muscle. You know, that one hand, if you stumble because your right foot tripped, so you don't get angry at your right foot, right? And the same thing is we're all one big neshama, and we all come from one source, and we're really just different limbs of a bigger picture. So the fact that this one did to that is not a reason to get upset. So he says here, says, therefore we find many times in the words of Chazal, someone has to shalom transgressed, it affects all of Klal Yisrael, because they're like one big body. It's because we are. If you have a big pain in one limb, so the rest of the body, even though there the pain isn't felt as much, still affects them. We find in the Medrash Perik Dalet, Sep Zura Yisrael. Nimchol Yisrael is said. Klal Yisrael is compared to a sheep. Madako Shosel, Loikam Echem Nevorov. If it gets some type of wound in one of its limbs, V'kulam Akish, and the rest of the body feels it. Af Yisrael, Echot Choit, the one Jew sins, V'kulam Nenoshim, and they're all punished. Tanu Shimon Bar Yochai, Mashal Bnei Odom, She'erboim B'Sfina. To be compared to a bunch of people traveling on a boat, one person, famous mashal, one person went, took a drill, and when he's sitting, he starts to drill a hole in the boat. So the other people go say, what are you doing? What's your business? I'm drilling under me. I'm not drilling by you. I said to him, you're going to drown us. Right? The fact that the hole's by you, it's going to affect us all. So it's all the same type idea that Klal Yisrael is one big body. Therefore, my brother Hizor, be very careful, Milinkan, from taking revenge. Yeah.
But I understand the concept of being one big body, but the idea that echad chote v'chulam ne'anoshim, that one guy sins and everybody is punished. I'm responsible for me, you're responsible for you, and any avera that Ruvain does, Ruvain gets punished. We don't expect that.
Well, Tanya Chazal's expressing, being that Reuven and Shimon is just like a right and left hand of the same body. So if the right hand is hurting, like he said, then the left hand is also on some level hurting. So maybe that's what it means that it's punished. It means that we all suffer together because we're all one big body. It's not a I'm Reuven and you're Shimon, so I can do what I want because I don't know. It's the whole body. Again, it's different levels, the different layers, I assume, because there is the layer that you're expressing. Shimon's going to go ahead and Reuben's not. You know what I mean? What do you mean? Come along, Reuben, you're my right hand. I don't think it works that way, but the fact is that the body is ill. We know that. I'm just talking, by the way. That I think Chavetz Chaim writes it somewhere. We may have even learned it already. That all of our ailments and stuff is really an expression of a spiritual ailment. Right? If we could do that's why you do tshuva and you get better. So I think it says in the Gemara also, first you have slicha and then you have refuah, slach lanu, and then refaim. So if in the spiritual realms the body is sick, so it's going to transfer itself down to the physical, and if it's one big body up there, then all of us are going to be kranka mentioned, so to speak. So Klal Yisrael is not healthy. Maybe that's part of the way of understanding it. Why, he says, why should you be careful from taking revenge and holding a grudge, bearing a grudge? Because ultimately you're doing it to yourself. Rather think your thought process should be that what happened to you is from Shemayim. And what's in my business, basically? Whether what was coming to me came through this guy or came through that guy, in many ways Hashem could have sent it to me. And it's not my business. My business is to take my own inventory, to take, why did I get hurt? Why did I have that suffering? And if I accept myself upon myself, yes, it was coming to me. Do tshuva, and I say, so that'll be a reason for you to be forgiven. First out David HaMelech, and Avishai ben Tzruya wanted to punish Shimi. Al Shecher V'Gideh for David, Kila calling him at. So Slahinicha David. David didn't let him. V'Omar Hashem Omar Kalo. He's dressed up the stick. Hashem told him to curse. Ramu Chazal further tell us Sha'av V'Urzen Nimnu Bezdin Shamayla Uminu LeDavid Sheharavi Miragla recover because of that. David rewarded, so to speak. I don't know if it's amount to reward or it's just that he became great. He became the fourth leg of the Merkava, so to speak. Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov are the three legs them rests upon, but it takes four to tango. I mean, the wagon has four, Merkava. Chariot has four wheels. David became the fourth wheel. As we'll discuss it more. Because of that conception, I guess. And like he's saying, my Averis will be nimchal if I. Sounds like even if I internalize this, when I get it tsar, I don't. When you get it tsar, someone does something to you, and you hold the revenge. Inherent in what you're saying is that there's no tziduk kadin, not that it's coming to me, right? It's all him.
Mm-hmm.
He did something to me. It's him. I don't attribute it to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because once you attribute it to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then it's not him anymore. So by attributing it to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shem Amaloi, what was the expression? Shem Amaloi Kalo, right? So he accepted it as from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and it's a great thing. All right. Thank you.